Hey, this is Pete with BananaHobby.com. In the next few minutes, I'm going to run you through what is called a bind process. Many of the radios that come with our aircrafts and our products nowadays come on what's called 2.4 gigahertz. In the event that you need to rebind your transmitter to your receiver, these are the steps to take in order to rebind your transmitter and receiver. What that means is getting your transmitter to read the signal coming from your receiver so that your product communicates together. We have various transmitters laid out here from all of our different products. So what I'm going to do is run each individual 2.4 gigahertz transmitter and its bind process in a closer view for you guys, so you guys can use this video as a tutorial on how to rebind your 2.4 radios. Most of these will be made by either Blitz RC Works, Topfire, or R18. And keep in mind, when you guys get your receivers inside the aircrafts, the antennas are usually pretty short. Some of them are extremely short, 1.5 inches. That's normal. They are not on FM anymore, so there's no long antenna. They are very short. They're self-contained, so they're inside the aircraft. The antenna doesn't need to be outside or anything like that. They can come with a little antenna as an inch long here, or some, like the Topfire, will come with one receiver with a little bit longer antenna and then a satellite receiver that's got another antenna on it. Different variations of these radios have different receivers, so all of them function the same. The bind process will be different, so I'm going to run you guys through what these bind processes are. Alright, this is your bind process for the Blitz RC Works T18 transmitter and the R18 receiver. This is what the T18 transmitter will look like. It could be a 5-channel, a 6-channel with a couple of toggle switches and stuff like that, or it can be just a straight base 4-channel one, just like this. So this is the T18 Blitz RC Works and or J-Power transmitter and receiver binding process. Alright, this is your R18 receiver that is included with this system here made by Blitz RC Works, and this is what your antenna looks like, basically, on that. And what you'll notice, take note, is in your package you have included what's called a bind plug. And this is what the bind plug looks like. It's just a little loopy little plug here that's plugged into the receiver. Okay, so what I have here is I have some laid out parts of the internals of an aircraft here on the counter here to give you an idea of what it looks like once the radio system has been properly binded. Bind processes are very simple, just a few steps and you're back in the air. We really don't know why the aircraft sometimes gets unbinded, but sometimes it's because if you disconnect, if you shut off the transmitter first and then you shut the aircraft off, it loses signal. And then in that case, just keep your little bind plug handy and don't lose this, and you can go ahead and rebind it. Very simple here. So what we're going to do here is we're going to make sure that the speed control, the ESC, is plugged into channel number 3 on the R18 receiver. And you'll notice that it's plugged into channel number 3, or THR, the throttle channel on the receiver. Okay, what you have to do now is you have to remove the plug, the servo that's plugged into the AIL and the number 1 slot on the receiver itself here. Okay, the AIL number 1 slot. Go ahead and unplug that plug in there. There's going to be a plug in there for the ailerons, and go ahead and unplug that plug. And what we're going to do is take our bind plug and we're going to insert the bind plug directly into the AIL number 1 slot. Okay, so it's nice and snug, and it is in there and it's ready to go. And what we're going to do now is I'm going to plug in a couple of mock servos here so you can actually see what it's doing here. Okay, so what we do now is very simple. Everything is shut off right now on the aircraft. Nothing's turned on, transmitter is off, and the aircraft is unplugged, so it's not plugged in at all. Okay, before you bind anything, you want to make sure your throttle stick here is down in the lowest position and the throttle trim is down to the lowest position. So this way, if in fact that once it does bind, it doesn't end up taking off on you, or it could be a kind of a dangerous situation if this is up in the high position. So keep it down low, and you guys are ready to go. Okay, so what we're going to do now, it's very simple. Once the bind plug is in there, we're going to go ahead and connect the power to the aircraft with the transmitter off. Okay, let's go ahead and plug her in here. And what you're going to notice here is on the R18 receiver, there's a you can see the visible red LED blinking, okay? That indicates that the receiver is now in bind mode. And what we're going to do now is very simple. once the LED on there is blinking, all you got to do is turn on the transmitter now, okay? We're going to grab the transmitter and turn it on, and the center yellow LED here will flash. And then once it goes solid, that red LED on the receiver goes solid, and you're binded. And from here on in, all you got to do is unplug the bind plug, and you're ready to go. And just keep in mind, every time you shut the system off, unplug the power to the aircraft first, and then shut your transmitter off. And then when you go to turn it on, always turn on your transmitter first, and then plug in the aircraft. And that way it'll always retain the communication with the transmitter and the receiver. So now what we do is, I can show you, we have servo movements, and then the motor, we got motor power, and it's ready to go. So this is your bind process for the T18 and the R18 transmitter and receiver. And this process you probably won't have to do again, but if you do, that's how simple it is. And just keep in mind, keep the throttle stick down low. All right, happy flying, guys.